Mathew Boudreaux is also known as Mixed Domestic on social media. Follow them wherever you are and learn about different domestic techniques that Mathew just quite frankly excels at. But beyond that, we had a great conversation about serendipitous family creation, and that doesn't happen often in the queer community. Have a listen. You'll know what I mean. Welcome to the Becoming Baby Ready podcast, your podcast for queer family planning. My name is Sam, and throughout this podcast, you'll hear me have conversations with professionals who work alongside people who want to start and grow their families, as well as parents of intentionally created families. Everyone I speak to identifies as being part of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community. This is your opportunity to learn answers to questions you didn't even know you had. Welcome, everyone. I'm extremely excited today to be sitting chatting with Mathew Boudreaux, known everywhere as at Mix Domestic, whether you follow on Instagram, TikTok, all the socials. Welcome, Mathew. So happy that you're here with me today chatting. And tell us about who you are and the members of your family.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is one of my favorite topics to chat about. It was a dream, being a little queer boy whenever I was still gendered as a boy. In Texas, I always dreamed of having a family. And it's like I would see my brothers and sisters and mom, it's like get married over and over again and like create their own family, which is like, judgment, you live your life, but it was never anything that was attainable to me. I,
Right.
I just didn't think it was going to be an option.
Yeah.
And so the fact that now I get to be on your podcast chatting about that, like giving other people guidance and insights that I've gleaned along the way,
Mm-hmm.
because I truly am, if I can take time to stop and smell the roses, living the life that I always dreamed of, that I never thought was possible. So I'm 48, and yeah, I love it. It's amazing.
It is.
And
Wait,
some
50 is even better, trust me.
I'm stoked because every decade it's like it's better and it's like I'm not
Yep.
falling apart. Like I still look foxy, so it's all good. So like bring it on with the wisdom. But
Uh-huh.
somehow I managed to accumulate this massive social media following of humans that like what I'm all about. My predominance is sewing and crafting and quilting. I do it with an inclusive DEI focused lens. It's been
Love
an
it.
evolution. I got a lot of attention early on, just based on my positivity, my willingness to just try things, and really naturally just talented. And I've had camera training, so it's like I'm good. I can connect with people online, offline. In real life it's a little bit harder for me, but online, yeah, I love that.
Excellent.
And so it evolved from me going down this one road where I was getting a lot of affirmation and acclaim, but it wasn't like my authentic self. And so the pandemic, like a lot of us, it messed with my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Realized I have CPTSD. Didn't realize I was on the autism spectrum. Got all these wonderful diagnoses that have helped me like learn who I am authentically and learn how important it is for me to be authentic.
Right.
And so it's like I've always been inclusive, and that's always been like my mission online. I've always taken the platform very seriously and tried to be a good role model. But really, whenever I was stepping into my authentic self after a psychotic break where I almost lost it all,
Mm-hmm.
I decided the only way I can move forward is if I am 100% authentic. I create a psychologically safe place for me and for
Mm-hmm.
everyone around. And I'm not going to let anyone tell me that inclusion isn't possible in sewing and crafting and quilting because it's super duper easy. And so that's what I'm all about. A lot of people resonate with that.
Yep.
And it's like I'm just here to show the industry, which still thinks that like there's only one perceived dominant demographic that likes to do all of these things. I'm like, no, no, my community doesn't. They don't want to mess with y'all
Mm-hmm.
because y'all don't make them feel welcome and seen. But I
That's
have this
right.
huge community that wants to do all of that. So that's what I've stepped into. I've taken this year, I've realized corporate America isn't working for me again. I went back to work after my break. Unfortunately, had another psychotic break caused by some conflict at work that people tried to, I was always authentic about what I had gone through. And so they tried to kind of use it against me. And
Right.
forced
Hmm.
me to have a break. And I went on disability. I was like, I can't go back into that. I'm not going to risk it. And so now I'm doing all this full time.
Love
And
it.
in this, I've had this amazing supportive family of me, myself, my spouse, who also identifies as non-binary. When we started out, we were a gay male couple, but now we're both non-binary humans.
Hmm.
Been together since 2001, got married in 2008. Um, First in Los Angeles because it happened to be legal right
Oh,
before we
right.
traveled to Vancouver, BC to get married there. That was where our wedding was
Oh, nice.
Stanley Park at dawn. Like it was just
Gorgeous.
gorgeous. It was really
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh.
And
Oh.
we were living in LA then and we're like, oh, we can't afford the next steps. And I was like, I want to have a family. I want to be
Hmm.
able to afford like a home. Like Los Angeles is gross. So we discovered the Pacific Northwest when we drove to Vancouver
Hmm.
and we're like, this place is awesome.
Hmm.
Portland was like the first place I'd ever been where I felt comfortable talking to like strangers on the street.
Right. Yeah.
I'd never felt that way before. Like even like dudes, like I just
Hmm.
generally don't feel comfortable like with
Fair.
straight dudes. Like I just
Yeah.
try, but it's like I everywhere I felt really comfortable. I was like, this is home. So we just tried visiting like a dozen times before we transferred up here, and then now we made this our home. And then we have a daughter that we adopted at birth. Her name is
Love it.
Helena, and she is 11 in the sixth grade, and she is the most amazing human ever created in the history of the universe. Like, it's wild. What a remarkable human she is. I'm so honored to be her guide on this journey of life.
Yeah.
Because I learned things through her. It's
Yeah.
not unidirectional. It's like I've got some wisdom, but wow, that fresh perspective sure does like share a lot if you just listen and pay attention and are willing to learn and not think that you have all the answers. So that's who I am with here. And then I have my two dogs. They're Australian Labradoodles. And eventually we want to have a farm because we're over people, but that's where we are.
Forget the people, but bring us the animals. Bring us the animals. We've got it. I love that. What a I love something that you said there that it isn't unidirectional, this parenting journey, that we have to be open to learning from our children. And it's so funny that I distinctly remember when my kids were little. My kids are in their 20s now. But when my kids were little, would hear people talk about kids asking why? Doesn't it
Mhm.
drive you crazy when your kids ask you why? But sometimes when they ask you why, it gives you the opportunity to pause and learn something new. You know what? I don't know why that is. And no, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. So no, we don't have to do it the way it's always been done,
Nope.
right? It's
Nope. And
so great.
my like we took the classes, we did the like I read all the books, like trying to figure out this parenting thing, but
Hmm.
it's really an experiment, really.
Sure.
And so for me, I was just like, if she is wise enough to ask the question, then I should honor that question with telling her the truth.
Right.
And
100%.
so if she's ready for the answer and by asking the question, I'll give her the answer.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes I probably should like pare it down to like what age she's at because I forget that she's still a kid. But like, yeah, that's how I've always done it. And so I've always led with honesty, and that's the only thing that like I can really offer is
Hmm.
honesty in the parenting thing. And so far, so good.
And I think, I mean, you say that maybe you should pare it down to be age appropriate, but the answer that you give is sort of beyond her wisdom of years because she isn't an adult yet, then I suspect because you've let her ask all the questions up to this point, she's going to know that she's allowed to say, that I don't get that. What
Yep,
does that mean? And she'll just
yep.
further ask for more answers, right?
And I love it. Those are the best conversations because I feel like we
Sure.
both grow them. Even with my own exploration of my own gender, it didn't
Hmm.
come from me going, and then she like learned about it. She was young and she just came to me one day and was like, "Hey, Dada, you know what? I think I'm a girl, but I'm not that kind of girl. So I want to change my pronouns and go by she, they." And she was like 6. Nothing I had ever talked about. It was something that she just gleaned that information on her own. And then I was like, you know what? That's how I feel actually. I
Hmm.
don't feel like I'm that kind of boy. And so I, at the same time, not stealing her shine, was like, I think I'm going to go by he, they and try that out for a little bit.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
I progressed to they, them. I was like, yeah, no, I just don't feel like that at all. I'm just like
Hmm.
something in the middle. I don't want to
Hmm.
do that. But it was like, wow, if we really
Mm.
listen to their perspective. It's so pure.
It
It's
so
so
is.
pure. Um,
Hmm.
it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. So you realized that you could become parents because, like you
Yep.
say, and what many queer people feel at some point is, we're as children, we see, sort of the pathway forward is supposed to be we grow up and we find a partner and we have a family and then we realize that we're part of the queer community, and then that takes us back a bit because we have to revisit and think, okay, so is all of this still allowed for me and attainable for me? And then you realize that it is.
Mhm.
But then now you've got options. Now you've got
Yep.
questions. How do you decide that you're doing an adoption versus surrogacy? And then if you decide adoption, how do you decide whether it's public or private? Like you've got
Right.
these balls you're throwing in the air, and how do you figure out which one you need to catch and hang on to?
And that's where it's personal, right? It's
Hmm.
just, it's up to the parent. And you
Sure.
have to be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Like, honest what kind of situation you can be in, and
Hmm.
honest about what's going to work. And with what's going on in the United States, how seems like some laws that I thought were there are going to be like rolled back, and you need to really be aware of the laws and protections in the specific state that you're in as
100%.
to what you need to do.
Hmm.
Um, and for us, how it occurred was I always talked about it for like, it's like once I hit 30 and like kind of got my poop together and was like,
Hmm.
I told everyone I wanted a kid. I was like, I want to be a parent. I want to adopt a kid. I'm so look forward to it because I'm great with kids naturally. It's like people would always see it. It's like, yeah, I want to be a dad. I want to do
Hmm.
that more than anything. So it was because I so openly and often talked about the desire to do so for literally a decade
Hmm.
that it kind of landed in our lap. It was a
Okay.
very serendipitous situation, and I recognized how lucky we were in that I was getting my second master's at Portland State. I was older than most of the kids that were there, but one person that I connected with randomly texted me and was like, "Are you serious about wanting to adopt a kid?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally like I want to do that. I know that it would be a waste of me on this planet if I'm not a dad." And she's like, well, my employee just came up and told me that she was pregnant and wanted to give her child to a same-sex couple. I was curious if you wanted me to introduce you to her.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. So I talked to my spouse, and we were like, yeah, let's
Hmm.
see. I looked at like the finances to see if we had it. I was like, if I cash out my pension, like
Right.
then I can do
Yeah.
it. And so I had
Yeah.
just enough money. We met the birth parents because they were married at the time. They just didn't want children. And the birth mom had an aunt or has an aunt that was or is lesbian and wanted to adopt a child. It took her 7 years. It was so difficult. And so she just wanted to provide that to a queer family. And we
Hmm.
we met, we hit it off. She was only 2 months pregnant.
Wow.
I know. So it's like we were there, found attorneys for each of us, and then just went on the ride and gained a bunch of baby weight that still haven't taken off. But it was a beautiful serendipitous journey of it was just meant to be. And the week we were in the hospital together was the most beautiful thing. It's like my spouse and I had a room where we stayed with Helena, and then the birth parents were in the room next door at the
Hmm.
hospital. And then like at night we took her, and then during the day we just like hung out and like it was just great. And we decided to have an open adoption.
Okay.
And that was our decision. Because for me, I had read enough of the research to know that if adopted children have the ability to meet their birth parents,
Hmm.
then it would limit any challenges that they would have later on and
Hmm.
like pining after like could this have been better? Is that what I really wanted? Like I wish I could have had that and like idealizing it. So they would
Hmm.
need to meet. And so I was like, yeah, let's have an open. If there are people that want to love my kid, that's totally cool.
Right.
Unfortunately, the birth parents have not participated.
Okay.
Um, they did for like a week. I think it was just too difficult. I don't know.
Sure.
We're open to it, and Helena would love to meet her birth mom, but the birth grandparents and the birth great grandma have been involved since the beginning.
Oh,
And so,
really?
yeah, so while my parents and my spouse's parents know we're estranged, we haven't gotten any of that kind of family support. It's been
Right.
this initially awkward because none of us knew how to do it,
Right.
but it's like we just figured it out.
Yeah, you
And
did.
it's like it's all love.
Yeah.
And we're a big family. It's like, yeah, that's your granny, that's your grandpa, that's your great grandma.
Yep.
Um, like that's just what's up. And it's really cool that we went that route because had we not, she would have missed out. She would have missed out.
Sure.
And so that was just what was right for us. It
Yep.
makes, but it's a lot of relationships to navigate.
Sure.
And so that might not be the right decision for every prospective parent who wants to adopt. So if it's right for your family to have a closed adoption,
Hmm.
then do that. Don't feel
Sure.
that anything that I say would make you need to do that. It's like if that's what you need,
Hmm.
then do it.
Yeah.
Um, for us, this seemed like the right thing for our family. Um,
Can you differentiate between an open adoption and a closed adoption? I mean, if someone's to have a closed adoption, does that mean they absolutely have zero contact and never will, or they'll never
No, there's different
so
levels. There's so many
okay.
different things. That's where the lawyers will iron it all out and put it into
Right.
things. Like there's like you can have an open adoption to where it's like they're not involved at all, but then like if the kid starts to have questions and you can reach out and they'll see if they're at a
Hmm.
place to want to do it. Like that's one thing. One could just be
Right.
like, okay, they come over every Sunday for dinner and you have family dinners.
Sure.
It's just what's right. Closed could be you'll never know, and that's probably because of the birth parents. They don't ever want
Sure.
that. They just want to move on.
Hmm.
Or it could be closed to where, yeah, we're not interested, we're not going to participate, but we're not going to close the file to where if exploration occurred, you wouldn't be able to find us.
Right.
Right. So there's so many different
Sure.
levels to what you can look for in finding a prospective child or prospective birth parents.
Yeah.
That was eye-opening. I just thought it was like one or the other, and it's like, no, there's this beautiful rainbow
Hmm.
that is available, and it's really each family's unique in itself anyway.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
to
No,
me,
it's
like
true.
if I were to give advice, like why limit it? Why limit it? Um, but we are also lucky that their birth family is like cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, right, and not like disruptive and respects boundaries and stuff. That might not always be the case. So,
Sure. And I mean, that's the advantage of finding a team, a lawyer who can work for you and with you to put together whatever documents you need to make it feel like this is your journey as you want it to be.
yep,
Yeah. I
yep,
just I think it's fascinating. And I love that she has a relationship with her extended family, if not her birth parents,
yep,
at least the extended family.
yep.
And then when she has questions, she knows she can go and ask
Yeah, she
because
can
she's
ask,
got
and
that.
there might be an opportunity for the birth mom to meet
Sure.
her. And so we're at a place where Helena has informed me. She's like, yeah, I would like to meet her actually.
Hmm.
Um, so we might, and that might happen. And if so, that's great. I think that's awesome.
Excellent. And so from the very beginning, Helen has always just known what her family creation story has been. Has that just been a
Yeah,
common vernacular in your family?
yeah. We just as soon as we were able to have the conversations, I mean, naturally she's gonna have questions because like
Sure.
she's really smart and like you see enough animals mating and you're like, but I mean,
Hmm.
right? And so
Hmm.
it was just always a part of it. It's like we let her know as soon as we could have those conversations just about our family makeup and so we addressed it at different ages. The conversation was a little different, but
Hmm.
it was really natural and we just wanted it to be a part of her as opposed
Hmm.
to a shock.
Sure.
Um So, I mean, it would start out when she was younger. It's like, yeah, just so you know, like, we did adopt you. Your birth parents are here. Granny is actually your birth mom's. mom, like letting her know all about that. But it's like I wanted you my whole entire life, and you've always been my child. And it's like it's like you came from my womb. Like it's like I
Hmm.
love you so much that that and part of our story is that her birth mom did want to do it for us. Like she
Yeah.
didn't want to think of Helena as her kid. Even in the paperwork, she wouldn't have the name be associated with her at all.
Okay.
We named her after like when she was 3 months pregnant, and that was the name that was in all of the documents because she wanted to think of it as our kid and not her kid.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, your birth mom did this for us. Like she did it so that we could be parents. And so
Yeah.
it was just a part of the conversation. There's a pain point there, of course, because
Sure.
there's trauma associated with adoption,
There
but
is.
it's
But
part of the conversation. So
well,
when it comes up, we can talk about it.
and that's just it. Because there is often trauma associated with adoption.
Hmm.
A lot of the trauma is rooted in the unknowns, the
Yep.
questions that we can't ever get answers to. So the gift for Helena is that she's living in a situation in a dynamic where she has access to getting those answers, which
Hmm.
hopefully helps mitigate some of the trauma that just comes from growing up. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm. Yeah.
life is trauma sometimes,
Yep.
but
And that's even with her birth mom now being a potential. It's
mhm,
like we had a conversation about that to where I'm like, I don't know what her answer will be.
mhm,
I don't know.
mhm,
Um, I'm not going to predict or speculate.
mhm.
Um, but whatever the answer is, we're going to be there for you to work through it, right? And then you'll know
Yeah.
the answer to it, and there'll be
Yeah,
no more questions as to like whether or not it's going to happen.
sure.
Um, so I mean, that's the most recent conversation. We're always going to have this kind of conversation.
Sure.
So hopefully it mitigates some of the pain because I
Sure.
don't ever want my kid to hurt, but
No.
like
Mm-mm.
I just know it's there.
Yeah. 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 And so you just wait for the next answer to come so that you can just navigate as you
Yep.
move through, right?
Yep.
So if you had not had this opportunity, literally, seemingly fall in your lap because of conversations you'd had with people
Yep.
before, so the sort of played out the way that it did, was public adoption or or sorry, was private adoption always the plan, or were you looking at public adoption, or
We hadn't gotten into it. It
you
was
hadn't
like one
really
of
got
those
into
things
it?
that we talked about. I don't know. I can't answer. Would
Fair.
it have happened? Um, I don't know because I was 37 when she was born, and I couldn't imagine doing it any older because
It's
it's
true.
exhausting.
It is.
Um,
Oh, it's true.
I would not have had a limitation on how I would
Mhm.
have become a parent. More
Right.
than likely, we would have adopted someone who was not a baby.
Right.
I'm thinking
Hmm.
an older kid,
Hmm.
who needed a family.
Right.
Um, that's probably the direction I think that we would have gone in.
Right. Right. But the expectation was always you were going to be a parent. You're going
Oh
to
yeah,
figure it out somehow.
we wanted to be parents. And that's the
Yeah.
thing about parenting. Whether you adopt, whether you have a surrogate, whether you are cisgender straight couple that can do it naturally, like
Yep.
there's no perfect moment.
Mm-mm.
There's no perfect time. Like just
Yes.
jump, and then
Yeah.
you figure it out along the way. And then you grow up in all the areas that you needed to grow up and become an adult yourself. And
Yeah.
you no longer are thinking just about yourself. Like it just happens because we didn't
Hmm.
have people helping us. It was just my
Yeah.
spouse and me. My
Yeah.
family didn't help. They didn't. So it was just the two of us figuring it out on the other side of a country, away from our blood relatives, and we figured it out.
Yeah. But I get the sense from you and the way you talk about your connection or lack thereof with your biologic extended family that that's probably the healthiest way for you to have done it for yourselves. Do
Yeah.
you think?
I don't like how the estrangement happened. but it was the best thing for my mental health and ability to grow through my trauma and for our daughter is that
Hmm.
I didn't want her to endure any of the abuse that I
Hmm.
did.
Hmm.
I would not tolerate her being around oppressive language
Hmm.
or racism or homophobic, like any, like, no, it just, she wasn't going to be around it. She
Yeah.
was not going to be sexualized. She was not going to like any of that. Like, no, it just, I was going to protect her in all the ways that I should have been.
Yeah. Right.
And it couldn't have occurred with them
Yeah.
because my biological family all have similar generational trauma, as they say,
Hmm.
that they haven't healed from. And I healed from it. Me
Yeah.
and my sister Tanisha, she passed away 2008. Um, she and I were like two peas. We were the ones that were like similar.
Hmm.
And like the black sheep and the rest, it's like, no. They like to take it out on us,
Hmm.
it seemed like.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, Helena wouldn't have, I wouldn't have allowed it. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
allowed it, whether or not we became estranged or I just didn't take her to there. Like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was it.
Hold on for just a moment. We'll be right back. You know about Baby Ready because you're listening to this podcast, so you know that we are all about queer family planning and helping you have the family of your dreams. But did you know that we don't abandon you once your baby arrives? We actually offer parenting coaching as well, and that's not just for the newborn phase, although we are there for that, but it's through toddlerhood and young children, tweens, and even through the teen years. When you need someone unbiased to lend an ear so that they can hear where your struggles truly are and help you come up with a path and a plan that feels truly right for you and your individual family, don't hesitate to reach out. We are always happy to be there for you. Visit us at www.babyready.info for more information. Yeah. And it's interesting how we will gift our children with boundaries like that
Mhm.
in a way that we won't gift ourselves, right? We often
Yeah.
feel a sense of obligation to stay connected, and then our children come into our lives and we're like, no, no, you don't it's a privilege to know my family, and
That part,
you haven't earned that privilege,
that part. Yeah. It's like, I wish I would have gifted myself that.
right?
I would have been able to start healing a lot sooner. I didn't
Sure.
realize how much space
Mm-hmm.
navigating the trauma of my biological family was taking up
Mm-hmm.
until it was suddenly gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I
Yeah.
have a lot of free time on my hands.
Right. Right.
A lot of free brain space too that I could
Yeah.
start healing.
Yeah. And I
But yeah,
love,
I
yeah,
didn't know. I
no,
didn't know. Because that's all you know.
sure, 100%. You can only know what you know,
Yep.
and you can't unknow it once you know it. So you
Nope.
have to learn how to process it and deal with it and things
Yep.
like that, which you are working on every day, which is
Yeah,
a
I'm working
gift,
on it. I'm a
right?
journey. It's a journey.
Sure.
It's a
But
hard
that's
ass
what you
journey,
teach
but
Helena too. Oh, it is a hard
yeah.
journey for sure. But
Yep.
you teach your daughter that
Yeah.
that's part of life, and you keep moving through it and you keep finding the ways through it. When you don't have the answers, you ask for help or you ask for guidance or you
Yeah.
ask for support. So she's learning all of these magical
Yeah. She's
messages.
learning that people who love you are not supposed to be the ones that tear you down. They're not supposed to
Exactly.
be the ones that make you feel horrible about yourself. They're the ones that are supposed to lift you up and love you unconditionally.
Sure.
Unconditional love is the easiest thing. It's
Sure.
so freaking easy.
Yeah.
I didn't really have it other than my sister who gave it to me. I
Yeah.
didn't know until
Yeah.
Helena was born, and I was like, that's all I gotta do is love you no matter what.
Hmm. Done.
And be open and to be open to whoever you are
Mhm.
and to not try and like tell you what you need to do, like, but to like guide you along your,
Mhm.
that's so easy. That's so easy.
Yeah.
To where now I'm starting to learn how to unconditionally love myself in
That's
that way. Because I didn't know that either.
no.
And wow, that's powerful.
It is, but it's harder to do. It's easier to
Oh,
love
yeah.
somebody outside of your body than it is yourself, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. Self-love is hard.
Mm. Yep. It's a lot of post-it notes and affirmations and all kinds of things that you, whatever it takes, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And it's an
Whatever it
everyday,
takes.
every
Every
day.
day. Every day. It's like I just yearn for the moments when I feel it and I'm like, oh, I
Look
do
at
love myself.
me.
That's kind of neat. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Are you comfortable talking about how much you had to spend in order to be able to create the family you've
Oh,
got?
yeah. I think it was like 50,000
Okay.
US.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was in total, including like hospital bills,
Hmm.
the lawyers, the any monies that I was able to give the adopted or the birth parents
Right.
for their healthcare. Yeah, I think it was about 50K.
Yeah. It's not chump change. It's
No?
like we have to work our butts off to have our
Yep.
families.
It
And
was
so,
literally everything that I had that I could
yeah,
access. It was,
yeah.
but I was like, oh, there's a reason I have that much money.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sitting on this for a reason,
Like, that's great. Yeah, who needs my pension? I didn't need it. Like, I'm not gonna retire. What's that?
right? You have too many people who need to do too many things
No.
to be able to
Mm-mm.
retire.
Right.
Too many lessons to teach people.
It was the best money that I've ever
Oh,
spent.
I
Like,
have no
I
doubt.
would I would give up everything to have my child. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's worth it. It's worth it. I just happened to be presented with a situation where I had exactly what was needed, and it was wild how it all connected and the puzzle pieces put together. That there's nothing more than like serendipity. There's nothing more than like this was your
hmm.
destiny. Like
Yeah,
the whole thing felt like that. I was like, wow,
yeah,
that's how my daughter was brought into this world for
yeah,
me to
yeah.
parent her. Ah, that's so cool.
And as
Yeah.
you get to know her, you realize it's obvious she was supposed to be part of your family.
Oh, obviously. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
she's very much my spouse and me combined with her own flavor. So she's got my sass. She got my
Excellent.
spouse's stubbornness. Like but then she's got the
Oh,
beauty and the artistic expression
yes.
and the bewilderment and the never not questioning everything. Like
Good.
she's a little social justice warrior, has been since she was a kid, and it's like, all right, go ahead.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
And that's, I mean, we need children like that to be growing up
Yep.
in the world that we're in right now. She's the face of the future, and so
Yep.
to know that you're creating a kind, just human who's going to empower other people to be kind and just like she is pretty
Yep. And
pretty
that's Gen Alpha. Like
yeah,
that's just what they are. That's just how they are. There's so many. And it's like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
what a beautiful generation.
yeah. Oh, it's true. It totally is. It totally is. Does she participate in your sewing and your crafting and your
She does to a
creations?
degree. Like she's curious and she wants to do more. She's asked to learn how to sew more. We sewed some clothes together and she helped me sew my purse that I just made. Um, But for a while, she stopped because it's like she wasn't able to create the things at the level that I could, and it was frustrating to her.
Right.
But she
Mm-hmm.
got into like jewelry making and
Oh.
bracelets and origami. So she found her little niche, but she wants to get more into like what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I started and opened my fabric shop and I have like a retail business, it's like, oh my gosh, it takes up so much time. I don't get to create as much. So, I'm
Yeah.
hoping to I got all my fabric out of here to where this is going to be my studio again and there's going to be a space there for a sewing machine for the both of us. So I'm hoping that like she'll come over there and like want to learn to sew. Even if it's just a skill, that'd be great.
That's amazing. And,
Hmm.
and it is when you are, I find, at least in my experience, when I meet crafty parents, creative parents, whether they're creating something that people will wear, whether they're creating music that people will listen to, or something people will read or look at, the children's minds just seem to just be endless because they have all of this wonder that they have an outlet that they are witnessing somebody creating something so that
Yeah.
they see it as a different pair of eyes or something.
And she's been a part of my journey the whole time. Like all of this was started because of her. Like it all
Yeah.
started because I wanted to connect with my kid. Because like when I was a young lad, like I wanted to learn how to sew, but my mom wouldn't teach me because I wasn't the
Hmm.
right gender. And so my
Right.
spouse bought me some sewing classes whenever my our daughter was born, and then it just started. I wanted to make clothes and I wanted to connect with her. And so we would go to the fabric shop. Even when she was a baby, whatever she would touch, like I would grab it and like I would
Hmm.
try and make something for her. Even and so she always was a part of that as young as forever. And so even now, it's like whenever I designed fabric or when I'm trying to come up with like fabrics for a quilt, if I'm stuck, I'll be like, hey, come in here and help me. And then she'll just know. So it's like she just has an eye for like color and like patterns and like putting stuff together. And it's like, oh,
I
she
love
developed
that.
that. That's really cool. It's really cool. So there's a way for her to be a part of it, even if it's not
Sure.
like the creation part. Of course, I'm not gonna lie. I would love it if like she gets into it and like we both like take over the social media world and she like is the heir apparent to mixed domestic and like
Of
all of
course.
that. But like if that's not her journey, that's not her journey. So it's okay.
Fair, fair. But it's interesting that you were growing and developing as a new parent at the same
Yep.
time you were growing and developing these new skills
Yep.
and clearly new business and everything
Yep.
else. So she is
Yep.
really the birth of everything
Oh, she's the
that's
inspiration for all of it. It's like
yeah,
I had tried to sew before and I wasn't good, but it was like with her as my inspiration, everything was different. And it's like I really wanted it to be great for her. And it's like I really felt the love that people say that they put into handmade items whenever I was making stuff for her. And so
yeah,
it was a different experience creatively to have my daughter as both my muse and my inspiration
I love that.
and wanting to show up in a way on the internet that she would be proud of.
Right? Of course.
Um, and just all of that manifested into this thing that people resonated with. That is now this is my gig at 48, major career shift. That's wild. But yeah,
Love that.
it's all through that. Like seriously, y'all, queer parents are the best. Like we need to like
It's true. It's just true.
like I'm so boring in granola and vanilla. It's like I live in the suburbs. Like there are two pets and I sew and I craft. It's like I don't go outside. Like
Oh
that's
my
it. I just
gosh.
want to be regular. I just want to like do my thing and have my family.
Yeah. And that's all,
That's
and that
it.
is all we want, is just to have
That's
our
it.
families, right?
That's
That's
all.
just,
That's all. We don't want to like our family has nothing to do with anyone else's family. It's not a
yes,
comment. It's not taking away from anyone else. My marriage is taking away from no one else's marriage.
right.
My family is taking away from no one else's family. Y'all don't have to worry about whether my kid is good. Like she hasn't been tainted.
Yep.
Like she's awesome. Like no,
Yeah.
no, she's an amazing human at
Yeah.
11. Like
Yeah.
what? When I was 11, no, I was sketch. But no,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
But you lead by example with her, and so
Thank you.
she
Thank you.
learns from what you put out there for her, which is, I mean, some children grow up in spite of their surroundings and
Yeah,
become the people that they are, and some people, right, yourself as an
myself.
example, and
Yep.
then others grow up excelling and being who they are because of the example that was led for them, and that is definitely Helena, as you've
Yeah,
described
it's
her, which is
wild
pretty amazing.
seeing what unconditional love can nourish and foster in a
Hmm.
kid.
Hmm.
I didn't see it anywhere in when I
Yeah.
was growing up with any of my nieces. I just never it was not something that I saw.
Yeah.
I don't think my parents knew how to. I don't think my siblings knew how to. It's like,
Hmm.
but to witness it, it's like, oh, no, I wish she would clean her room.
Right. If you figure that out.
Like if I asked her to empty the dishwasher, I wish she would do it without like a, like,
Right.
but that's
Right.
just the age. Luckily, my partner is a teacher, an educator, and teaches
Mhm.
elementary school, so
Yeah.
they know all of the. They're like, well, this is just developmentally where she is at 11. She's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Right. Oh, I didn't know the big sigh was a developmental stage, but that's good to
Yeah,
know.
no, okay, okay.
What what do you wish that someone had told you about becoming a parent before you took the journey? Or is there anything that you wish someone had told you?
I just wish there would have been someone in my life telling me that I got this.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't have that.
yeah,
Um, it's like I did it. Ooh, I don't want to cry. I might cry. I did it. We did it, my spouse and I, in spite of the constant messages that we don't got this, that
yeah.
we're gonna mess it up, that how dare we even consider it? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, but we did it anyway because we knew different,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in each other, not in ourselves. We weren't there
Yeah,
yet. We knew that
yeah,
in each other.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that I wish there would have been someone saying, "You got this. You're actually gonna kick ass. You're
Mm,
gonna like knock it out of the park.
yeah,
Like your whole journey has gotten you to this point where you can be a badass dad for your kid."
yeah,
Like I wish I would have gotten those messages and
yeah.
had that
Mm-hmm.
from people that were in my close circle.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's it. That's what I would have wanted to hear. So anyone who's thinking about it or considering it, I hope that like when you hear those messages that make you feel like you're not going to be good or not worth it, or it's going to be so difficult, or you're going to have extra, like, forget all that. Like, those aren't
Yeah.
the messages to listen to. Listen to my voice when I say you got this. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be amazing. Like, it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be awesome. There are
Mm-hmm.
going to be things that are challenging for, I mean, I'm not going to
Sure,
lie and paint it to where, there's some situations that are challenging as a
sure.
queer parent. Yeah. Wow, do I have to be self-assured? And when I walk into situations with my curly tresses and my nail polish and like swishing
Mm-hmm.
all over the place, like, but I don't do that for people who are not going to get it. I do that for
Right.
people who are going to get it.
Yeah.
And the parents like us
Mm-hmm.
now, the kids seeing that,
Mm-hmm.
they now know that like it's possible. Because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see parents like me.
No.
I didn't. They weren't. They might have been there. They were all married to a woman.
Yeah. That's true.
Doing that, like
That's
that's
true.
that's how it was done before. You
Yeah.
just played the part, but it's like, no, this is the a more beautiful avenue to do it authentically.
Yeah.
And just all of us in the LGBTQ community need to
Yeah.
know that we're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
fully
people are
agree.
just jealous of our authenticity,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they wish that they could live as authentically as us. Not on our path, but everyone's out there pretending, and we have to choose not to pretend anymore.
It's so true. That's so true.
And that that in itself is the best gift that any parent can give their kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Eh, Before I let you go, can you tell me, I know that there's a million and three different answers you could give to this, but
Yep.
but choose one. What is your very, very favorite part about being Helena's parent?
Part of the answer is selfless, part of it's selfish,
Hmm.
but it's all connected.
Yeah.
My favorite part is being her guide
Hmm.
on her journey
Hmm.
and being there for her no matter what, and just showing her unconditional love in a
Hmm.
way that I didn't have.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's that's my favorite because I think that's the core of parenting. And
Yeah.
then the unintended consequence of that I didn't know would happen is in doing that for her, I'm healing that version of myself at that age
Yeah.
as she goes through hers. And I
Mm.
didn't know that that was going to happen.
Right.
It's like there were a bunch of memories for myself that came up of whenever I was sexually abused that I didn't have. I didn't know about them.
Right.
Like my brain cut them off. And when I
Sure.
had my break, they all came out. But it was at the age that she was at that moment
Hmm.
that I didn't realize the connection. So it was like I get to heal
Hmm.
as I'm doing what's right for her, and that I didn't know. Like that's kind of cool. I didn't
That's
know
super
that. I
cool.
didn't know that. But I don't think that happens for all parents.
No, I don't think it does. I don't think it
Um,
does.
but I think the way that I'm doing it, it's like affirmation I'm doing it right. If the way I'm parenting is also healing my inner child,
You got to be doing something right.
wow, I can't
Yeah.
imagine what it's doing for a real life child of that age.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
all of that, it's like we're all connected and like
Sure.
it's just raw. I just really like it. It's really fun. But saying one thing, it's really hard. I could gush about it's my favorite thing that I've
Sure.
ever done. It's
Sure.
it's I've being a parent and wanting a parent, wow, they're so different. Wanting to be a
Hmm.
parent, it's like
Hmm.
I didn't have any idea what it was going to be like.
No, no,
But wow, is it fantastic
it
and
is.
so hard and exhausting. But
It is all of the things.
it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's that's pretty succinct. That's really
Thanks.
true.
Right?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking time out of your afternoon to chat with me today. I really, truly have loved hearing your story and being able to just, the smile on your face is
Oh,
just, if that doesn't tell everybody, I mean, it's clear in your voice, the smile on your face, that just tells everybody how much you just love being the parent that you are. So
thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm honored to be invited to chat about this because it's super important, especially now,
I agree.
for people like us to know it's still a viable option. I
Sure.
even like weird like it's kind of a tangent, but I have a space. I have like my fabric shop elsewhere. It's still virtual, but I rented this office space, and in my office space is my adoption attorney. I didn't
Oh,
know she was there. It was
oh,
coincidental. She was just being nosy and knocking on my door and wanted to like introduce herself. Because it's like
right,
a Regis Center where you can. It wasn't where she was when we used her. It was a long time
right.
ago. But I was like, she was like, "Are you Mathew Boudreaux?" I was like, "Marie, oh my God." But she told me that now she's taking additional steps in the paperwork to make sure that parents are good when
Yeah,
queer parents adopt, because that's all she does is
sure.
queer adoption and surrogacy. That there are ways to protect your family. Like they can't take the like. Sorry,
Right.
nah. Like
Yeah,
we're here, we're
yeah.
queer,
And
and we're freaking amazing parents. Like
we are, and we're
you
not
can't
going
stop that.
anywhere. Yeah,
We're not. So don't let any of the rhetoric or the changes or the fear mongering let you think that you can't do this, that this
yeah,
isn't still an option. Don't
right.
let fear win because love is going to win.
Every day,
That's
all
it.
day,
That's it.
100%. Thank you so much.
As a queer individual with colonial lineage, I want to first acknowledge the land upon which I live and work. Being from what is now known as Burlington, Ontario, I recognize the original ancestry of these lands as they span from Lake Ontario to the Niagara Escarpment and beyond. These lands are steeped in Indigenous history that benefits my community every day. The territory is mutually covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and other allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. I would like to acknowledge that the land on which I stand is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. The land dictates everything about our ways of being. Particularly, the land teaches us about fluidity. Concepts of the binary system and heteropatriarchy were imposed by the colonials who were, at the same time, removing children from their homes, families, and all that was familiar to them. These same children were divided by the only two prescribed binaries recognized by the settlers, and they were forced to conform to a performative, gendered falsehood. The land doesn't operate under binary thinking. It is diverse, complex, and unpredictable at times. Rather, the land holds us and all of our remarkable pasts and identities. Every organism and spirit has a purpose. It is from this understanding that I strive to live and grow.
Thank you for joining me today on the Becoming Baby Ready podcast. If you have a story that you'd like to share, or you know someone who might, if you're a professional who works in the capacity of helping people start and grow their families, and you identify as being a part of the 2S LGBTQIA+ community yourself, then please don't hesitate to reach out. We always have room for more stories to share, and there's always more learning to do.